Good morning. I wanted to apologize for not being in class, and I hurt my ankle. It's getting a little better, but I wanted to give you a lecture we would have had on Monday. So today's lecture, you would have a quote. We're going to go over parts of an argument. There's a video exercise that you're going to do on your own, and then we might also kind of try to do that in class as well. And then review the prompt a little bit, and then talk about noun phrase appositives. So here's the quote. It's from Bruce Lee. If you always put limits on everything you do, physical or anything else, it will spread into your work and into your life. There are no limits. There are only plateaus, and you must not stay there. You must go beyond them. This sort of relates to the willpower one we talked about, but also through sports. Not so much sports and racism, but although it could be that, many times feeling as if personally you get to a place where you get complacent and you feel overwhelmed maybe, and it keeps you from moving forward. And so go ahead and write down the quote in your notebook, and then talk about times where you feel a limit, you feel limited in some way, and then how you deal with that limitation. And do you see that limit as a plateau, or do you see it as an end? Okay, and so maybe have a discussion about that in your notebook. So I wanted to review parts of an argument with you, and so there's lots of levels to this. This is just the basic level, but generally when you're talking about an argument, it is a living sort of thing that involves three parts and three kind of entities. The first is the three words here that are used are Greek words. There's logos, ethos, and pathos. The logos, it comes where we get our word logic from. It's the argument itself. It's the claim that you're making. It's facts. And then support for that claim. Those steps we've talked about regarding your thesis, but it also could be supporting claims as well. And then evidence to provide for that, and evidence that is factual or quantifiable in some way. The ethos section of an argument is represented by the credibility of the author or the speaker. So you might find out like what their education or experience is, their knowledge. It also is like, who do they quote? Who have they read? That can add to the ethos of a piece of writing or even a speech. Next is pathos, and pathos is the emotion. It comes from our word pathology, and it is the ability to appeal to the audience. And so oftentimes there are ways in which we emotionally appeal. It could be through a story, and the feelings that could come from that is a sense of empathy or loyalty, security, fear. We can use different tactics to try to, argue something in order to persuade, and so pathos can be helpful with that step. So one thing to think about is how the audience plays into this. So how if you're considering the pathos. So the more hostile the audience is to your claim or your thesis, the more logic you're going to need to persuade them. They're going to need facts. The more agreeable your audience is to something, the more emotion you can kind of get away with to use to convince them. So for instance, in these UNICEF commercials you've probably seen on TV, there's this issue like starving children, right? So no one is hostile or against starving children. So they can use a lot of emotion in these ads in order to get you to give money. So for instance, the pictures are very sad, the lighting is very dramatic. They might say things like, for the price of a cup of coffee, you can save a child's life. And you might be thinking, I spend, $10 a week on lattes, I could save a village, or something. So they can use this emotion in order to capture you. And so you want to consider when you are writing an argument or you're analyzing other people's arguments, how much emotion are they using and how much logic are they using? And who is their target audience? And see if you can kind of figure out that relationship. So on your own, what you're going to do, and we'll probably repeat this in class, but I want you to try it on your own. I want you to play this video. It's from The Daily Show's not Jon Stewart, sorry. It's forget the British guy's name. Anyway, you're going to watch the video. He is writing and talking about the NCAA and the fact about not paying college students. And so what I want you to do is, as you watch this, I want you to kind of write down the arguments. In class, we're going to do it again at the beginning of class next time, and each group is going to try to write one either for emotion, for credibility, or also for logic, and to see sort of how he breaks this down. And we'll have a big discussion about that later. Just a reminder about the essay prompt. You're going to be arguing one of the racism in sports topics. Your intro should present the issue and at least 2 articles, one for and against, or different perspectives at least. Your thesis should include your claim about the topic, what you agree with or disagree with, and a general reason why. You don't have to give a list reason, but a general reason why. Your body paragraphs, which you'll have 4 to 5, should have reasons that your argument is preferable. So each paragraph should have evidence from the sources you've chosen and your own evaluation of those. One body paragraph should include an opposition's point of view that you maybe don't agree with and a counter argument against it. And your conclusion should look to the future of the topic. So a reminder about the topics to consider. Again, you've started to post articles for all of these online. You can look at each other's articles. Maybe someone else posted an article that you like better and you want to use that one as well. So choose at least 2. You could do more. Don't do 4 or 5, but 2 or 3 is fine. Okay, and so finally, I'm kind of taking a break and looking at some grammar issues. We're looking at noun phrase appositives. And you probably already use these without knowing it, but an appositive, it's a noun or a noun phrase that renames a noun right before it, and it kind of says a little more information about it. So an example is at the last sentence here, which you can't see the whole thing because of the little camera, but it says Dave Zirin, author of the book Game Over, comma, writes convincingly about sports and politics. So the bolded part is giving you more information about the underlined part, Dave Zirin. So that is an appositive, and it's saying more about the noun. Again, it doesn't have to be the subject of the sentence. It could be another noun in the sentence. Here's another example. The NCAA maintains that college athletes, and again, this is not the subject of the sentence athletes, but a noun in it. And then you add more information. Students, often without financial support, are pampered and entitled. So this way you're getting more information bolded about those athletes that you want to get in there without having to write a whole nother sentence. Okay. So in class, what we're going to do, and maybe you can start this on your own, is look at the different words we have here that have to deal with our topic and see if you can write a sentence with a noun, using this noun, and then having an appositive that comes after it. So, instead of athletes at the top, in the example above, the word would be mascots or stadiums or scholarship. So create a sentence that has that noun somewhere and then add an appositive that says more about that noun. And you can just do 1 or 2 for an example. Okay, so for homework, and again, some of this homework is going to carry over since we missed class. You're going to complete the appositive handout I'm going to give you on Wednesday. You're going to upload, and again, that won't be due till later. You're going to upload your thesis and list of subtopics. Now that is going to happen now, so you want to do that for tomorrow night. And then underline and make a list of your claims and evidence for your essay. So you're kind of in the evidence gathering stage. Once you gather that, then on Friday, we're going to talk about labeling each one to figure out, is that evidence logic, or is it something based on credibility or ethos, or is it pathos? And we're going to be labeling those. Okay, so sorry again that I missed class, and I hope this is helpful to you. Thanks.